Hello guys, how are you?
I'm Hardeep Singh. Welcome back to your own YouTube channel. IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test, and speaking, you got guesswork. Please, guys, participate in everyday listening and reading practice test to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Press the bell icon for the upcoming notifications. Don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams.
Part 1.
You will hear a conversation between an international student and the accommodation department. You have 30 seconds to look at questions 1 to 3.
First of all, can you give me your name and student number so that I can find you on the system?
Sure. My name is Maria Teresa Gonzalez.
Maria Teresa Gonzalez. How do you spell that?
Gonzalez.
Thank you. Got it. And your student number, please?
SHU 300715PG.
SHU 300715PG. Ah, here you are. Department of Modern Languages.
Yes, that's me.
You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 4 to 7.
Okay, now there are several options for postgraduate students. Firstly, there is the Trigon. This is a new block near to the station and not far from the main campus. Accommodation is what we call cluster accommodation.
What does that mean?
There's a small group of rooms, usually 6, each with its own bathroom clustered around a lounge kitchen area which is shared.
Oh, I see. That sounds good.
They are very popular. The price for these is £99 per week, and we do have some availability left. However, for postgraduate students, there are other options.
And what are they?
There's another apartment block called The Cube, located near the west gate of the campus. Accommodation there is in 1 or 2 bedroom self-contained flats.
You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 8 to 10.
So, the cube is self-contained. How does that work?
Well, basically, they're just like ordinary apartments. Each apartment has 1 or 2 study bedrooms with ensuite bathroom, a lounge and a kitchen.
And what is the price of those?
For the 1 bedroom, it is £180 per week, and for the 2 bedroom, it is £110 per week for each person.
And can I choose who I share with?
If you have a friend and you would like to share with them, of course, we can reserve a 2-bedroom apartment for you both. Otherwise, you just have to share with whoever else is there. Obviously, it will be another woman.
I will have to think about this. Do I have to make a decision now?
No, but we don't have much accommodation left, so I can't guarantee that there will still be availability if you leave it too long.
Yes, that's fair. I have a friend in the management department who might like to share. I will speak with her and get back to you this afternoon.
Okay, fine. Do let us know as soon as you can.
I will do. Thanks for all your help.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 2.
You will hear a speech given by the head of a company to some new employees. You have 30 seconds to look at questions 11 to 16.
First of all, a warm welcome to Barker's Country Safaris. We're delighted to have you all on board for this season. I know you've all been told a bit about the company when you had your job interview, but I thought it would be worth telling you a bit more about ourselves. Barker's was set up 10 years ago by myself, John, and my then girlfriend and now wife, Nancy. We started it initially just as a hobby. We felt that there was a good opportunity to share our love of the countryside in this part of the world with the many visitors who come here. As you know, most people come for the beaches in the summer, but there is so much more to the region, and this is what we wanted to exploit. Nancy and I were born near here, and as teenagers we went climbing, kayaking, whitewater rafting, potholing, and just straightforward walking. This district is in our blood, and we love it. While we were still at university, we started taking small groups of visitors out into the national park in Nancy's brother's old Land Rover. We'd drive them around the back lanes and into the forest. We'd also organise rock climbing tours for friends of friends. Then, each year, without us having to advertise, people came back to us to ask for more excursions and trips. So, 5 years ago, we gave up our other jobs to focus full-time on Barker's Country Safaris. Now, 2 years after that, we set up the activity tour part of the business, and 1 year ago, we expanded into organising activities for school groups during term time. Obviously, this was a massive challenge with all the health and safety requirements, but it's proving a great success.
You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 17 to 20.
Anyway, we'll certainly not be dealing with school parties during the summer holidays. Our clients for the next 3 months are mostly family parties or groups of friends, and I'd like to talk a bit now about the tours we offer and what your responsibilities will be. Our most popular excursion is the Woodland Tour and Trail. Now, often this is sold out and we have all of our 10 jeeps in convoy with 8 people in each jeep. It's a lot of fun. These tours really offer a taster of what we can provide, so as both driver and guide, it is important that you do a good job here so they come back for the bigger tours. I will talk about the commission package later. As the summer days are so long, we have 3 tours each day, but you will not be expected to work on more than 2 of them. Morning tours start at 8 a.m. and go to midday. Afternoon tours are from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. and then evening ones 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. All the tours follow the same route, and you should have made yourselves familiar with all the key information. This was provided to you in the information pack you were sent when you accepted the job offer. This is important, so if you haven't had time yet, please do so now. Our second most popular tour is the Family Exclusive. Now, this tour is for the whole day and for only one group. Usually it is just one jeep, but sometimes there are 2 if the party is large. These tours go from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. and include lunch at the Brown Bear in Lower Middleton. We have a number of different routes for these tours, as we don't want our premium clients being made to feel that they are part of a large package deal. You will be told which route to take with your weekly schedule. Now, I'd like to move on to these specialty tour packages. These are the ones that we are keen to book people on once they've done the woodland tour and trail trip.
That is the end of part 2.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 3.
You will now hear a conversation between a university professor and a student. They are discussing some problems that the student is facing with regard to her project work. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now, listen to the first part of the conversation and answer questions 21 to 25.
Hello, Professor Reynolds. Are you busy? Do you have a moment?
Hi, Julia. How are you? And yes, I do have some time. What can I do for you?
Well, sir, I really need your help on this research project I'm working on.
Certainly. What is the project about? What's the subject?
Well, sir, as I mentioned to you last week, I'm going to do it on decaffeinated beverages. There's a lot of literature about caffeinated beverages and caffeine, so I thought I'd take a look at the other side of the coin, so to speak.
Oh yes, I remember. I must say, you picked a very different topic than what is generally taken up by students. I don't even think any student has ever written about caffeine, much less about decaffeinated beverages. So, how's it coming along?
Well, I've done thorough research on the topic. In fact, I think I've exhausted all the resources that I could find. I've also written an outline and rough draft, but I'm really concerned. I think the report is going to be just too short. I don't believe I can justify all the research I've done for the report. Now that I'm at this stage, it's too late to start with another subject, and I don't think I really have the time to do any more research.
Okay. Right now, what is the length of the report? Approximately how many pages is it?
Well, I think at the most it's about 8 to 10 pages. I'm including charts and graphical representations on at least 2 pages.
Well, that sounds like a good length to me, and very appropriate. I like the idea that you're putting in charts and graphs. That would strengthen your arguments.
Really? Are you sure? I keep thinking it's not very long, even with the graphics.
Yes, I'm very certain. The most important thing is what you have included in your report, rather than how many pages you've filled. Also, the path you have taken to complete the project is important to consider.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen to the second part of the discussion and answer questions 26 to 30.
OK, I've started the report with some paragraphs that give an introduction about caffeine. From there, I move to describe the disadvantages of caffeine and several ways to achieve decaffeination.
Well, that sounds like a good report. What else have you included in the report?
Well, I have explained my research design, and that is the primary problem. I'm not sure whether to present the report in abstract form or write it in a manner that everyone is able to comprehend easily.
Well, I do recommend that you take the second route. A report should be crystal clear in every sense. In fact, you can distribute some of the copies of the report to your friends and ask for their feedback. But make sure you give that report to friends who do not have a background in or are taking up chemistry. If your friends have any problems understanding, that would indicate that you need to rewrite your report in simpler language.
Wow, that's a brilliant idea.
Then I'm glad I suggested it. Tell me what points you have included in the report.
As I told you, I've started off with research design, and that is where I'm facing some problems. After that, I plan to discuss some of the case studies. I was thinking of adding some personal experiences, but I've abandoned that idea altogether. Finally, I plan to include all the references that I've used.
Make sure you cite all the references you've used. So, how is the experience of this report?
Thank you. I've never made such a project before. It's been tough at times, but it has been fun. I'm actually thinking that maybe I might want to apply for a lab assistant's job.
Sounds like a great idea. I'd like you to email me a copy of the report so that I can review it.
That would be great. Thank you, Professor.
That is the end of part 3.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Now turns to part 4.
Now listen to part of a classroom lecture that analyses how our dining customs or eating habits influence us. You have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen to the lecture and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Please be seated, and please pay careful attention. Today, I would like to discuss our daily eating customs. I'm going to discuss how they influence us, what we should eat, how much a person should eat, and how a person can make the act of eating much more pleasurable, enjoyable, and beneficial to one's overall health. First, I'd like to share the factors that influence our daily food choices. There are many factors, and these include our budget, surroundings, climate, tastes, knowledge of food and nutrition, culture surrounding food, the traditions of our family, and our own inclinations regarding health and fitness. For instance, on hot days, we would prefer to eat something chilled, whereas on cold days, we want something that is piping hot. We might be in a hurry, and if so, we might be more inclined to choose some type of ready-to-cook meal or go to a fast food restaurant for a quick meal. Our own family practices can influence our decisions. For instance, in my family, when I was growing up, depending on the dish, we might have what was left over from the previous night's dinner for breakfast the next day. We might have cold pizza or fried chicken, even fried rice. Now, these are just examples. There are, however, some practices that people engage in and that are completely unhealthy. Some of these I may have already mentioned. You'll have to figure out which during the quiz that follows. Okay, let's talk about the most important meal of the day. This, of course, is breakfast. In the morning, everyone's in a hurry, and even though people may feel somewhat relaxed after a night's sleep, they think they can manage well without any food in the morning. This is a big mistake, because they have to work the whole day and need an adequate amount of energy for this purpose. Furthermore, when they feel hungry, they will often eat unhealthy snacks, and in this way, they will eventually gain weight. This is exactly the opposite of what they may think. Another important factor is the required gap between two meals. Some people tend to take longer breaks in between meals, and as a result, they will gorge on a large quantity of food, which again is not a very healthy practice. Furthermore is the fact that some people treat food as a stress buster. For these people, eating is a hobby. This is particularly for those that are considered emotional eaters. When they're stressed out or worried about something, they will indulge in the pleasure of eating without considering the harmful effects of this on their bodies. Another problem is combining food with leisurely activities such as watching television or reading a book. You completely forget about the calories while doing this. Finally, the one thing that is an absolute no is indulging in a high-calorie meal or snack just before going to bed. This is a very common habit among teenagers. Now, on the other side of the coin, the healthier side that is, you should drastically change your eating habits and patterns. You should keep a close eye on your caloric intake as well as the frequency of your eating. First of all, you should plan your meals. When you know beforehand what you're going to eat throughout the day, you can avoid a lot of the temptations. Controlling the amount of food or any other snack you're going to eat helps in maintaining your health. Control your portions and enjoy only the portions that you decided to take in the first place. Replace unhealthy choices with healthy ones. Find some good and healthy ways to reduce your stress, like reading a book, exercising, or even talking to a friend. Eat slowly and chew slowly. This way you'll spend more time eating and will get a feeling of satisfaction with less food. Keep yourself busy the whole day to avoid the temptation to eat anything that strikes your fancy. As an old saying goes, eat the breakfast of kings, the lunch of kings, but the dinner of a pauper.
That is the end of part 4.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
So guys, don't forget like, subscribe and share my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, IELTS updates and recent exams. For more updates related to recent IELTS exam writing test topics, listening, reading, practice test and speaking, you got guesswork. Please guys, participate in everyday new IELTS listening and reading practice tests to achieve your desired band score in your actual IELTS exam. For more IELTS material, visit my official website www.ieltsupdatesandrecentexams.com. The link is given below in the description. If you need PDF files of latest IELTS material, then please join my Telegram channel. So guys, please write your score below the comment section. Again, thanks for listening. God bless you all guys. Stay tuned, stay safe.